Well, hey there, it's Jen.
And Elke, welcome back to part two of our Zazzle Designer series of how to make money on the Zazzle platform using the 5 strategies that I developed and that have helped Jen and I sell over $15 million on the platform, and
Mhm.
our clients sell over $165 million on the platform. And in 2024 alone, 94, no, actually 95 million of that was sold on the platform from our clients. So, yeah, let's just get right into these strategies. They are the framework that have helped all of us create Zazzle businesses that range from a couple $1,000s a month profit to ten to $20,000 in profit a month for some of our clients. Sticking to these 5 strategies. So, what are they, and what is this proven framework? Even though it's kind of a boring 5 strategies, but hey, if they work. And so part two is talking all about the second strategy, which is create. And it's exactly what it means. You're creating products and you're creating your business. You're doing whatever it is to create the assets that are going to make the money for you, which are the listings on the platform.
Mhm.
And thank you for joining us. If you're actually brandy new and have no clue what Zazzle is, it's a print on demand platform that Jen and I have used since 2008. The Jen is obviously my daughter here, if you haven't heard that before, and I'm Elke. We introduced ourselves, and we've been coaching our clients since 2017. Come to a point in the sessions where, in terms of our coaching, after just being a Zazzle designer, like possibly you are, or if you're brand new, we started out like you are doing now, and there was no one that was there to help people. And plus, everyone kept saying that you can't make money on Zazzle, yet there were some people that were making money. And so when I actually created the 5 strategies and made consistent 6 figures a year in profit, then I said, well, I've got to do something. I've got to make sure other people can have just the same empowerment feeling that I had when I realized, wow, I've created my own online business that
Yeah.
is consistently giving me passive income, which is awesome, right? And here we are so many years later, and the passive income keeps coming in. So, how does that happen? Well, you create products, and not just any old products. You create intentional products, and we've coined that phrase.
Mhm.
Obviously, we haven't, we didn't, invent the word intentional, but that's what it is. It's very intentional. It's this marrying of various aspects of what it is that is required to have a product that sells for you consistently as a bestseller, and then sells with you like as your store grows and consistently sells not only during maybe all the months of the year, but also year after year. This is one of the reasons that Jen and I, really love Zazzle, because we made products back in 2010 and 2011 that are still selling. I
Yeah.
just made a 68, which is really weird, $68.88 referral, and I haven't posted or pinned or promoted any of my products in forever, but I just made a referral and I've received that money, and the product that I made the sale on, which I made a royalty, and then I also made this lovely referral. I made back in, I don't even remember when I made it. It was like definitely 10 years plus ago, and it's still selling. So, and I'm sure Jen has the same
Yeah. I mean, I've
stories to tell. Yeah. And they're not even
yeah.
stories, they're facts.
No,
Yeah.
I've personally made a couple referrals and sales in the last couple of days too. It's interesting how waves of things come back to, show up again, because those products were posted in 2011, 2012. And as Elka mentioned, like, I haven't been on Pinterest pinning my own pins in a long time, because we've been, focusing on other things like coaching right now. And so our Zazzle stores are still working for us, and all of the stuff that we've put out on the internet is still existing. And it's really neat to get those sales coming in. And yeah, so this is like, well, this phase two is all about creating those intentional products. And then we'll get into another phase that talks more about promotion. But we're kind of speaking about promotion here as well, where we get
I
the
know. Yeah. They
referrals
kind of
and
go
those.
hand in hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
But the reason that we can say that intentional products are the thing is because we have the history, right? Like if we just made these products and made a few sales now, you wouldn't be able to, like, we wouldn't be able to say what we're saying right now. Instead, we have years and years of sales data, not only from our own, but also from our clients, that show that the ones that are the sweet spot are the intentional ones. And it
Mhm.
starts with researching in your niche. You want to take that part?
Yeah, well, if you've watched phase number one, or sorry, part number one of our 5-part series, we talked about your niche and figuring out your perfect customer and touching on the importance of that's before you even start posting your product for sale, because you have to figure out what niche you want to go in. And the second part now in strategy number 2 about creating intentional products is understanding the types of products that should be posted within your niche. For example, if you have a specific niche, there are different products that are associated with that niche and that are more important for you to post first rather than other products that are available on the print on like on Zazzle. Because excuse me, there are over 1,500 product types and styles that you can choose from. And that can be kind of overwhelming if all of a sudden you're, there's keychains, there's stickers, there's address labels, there's t-shirts, there's everything under the sun. And so if you are thinking about what products you need to be posting in your store for sale, and your mentality is that the more products you have, the more possibilities you can make money online, then yes, that's somewhat true, but it also is very specific for your niche. Because for example, like I mentioned, if Zazzle offers keychains that can be customized and posted in your store for sale, does a keychain make sense for your niche? And is it worth your time and effort spending the time creating that product and posting that listing for sale if it really does not make sense with your niche and the design that you're putting on that product, right? Because your product and your design and the purpose of that product are very, very important. And that's all related to your niche or niche.
And partly, like, I mean, as Jen mentioned, you're addressing a need for that person that's interested in whatever that is, right? Whether it's and niche and niche can be very broad. It can be someone who is like really attracted to minimalistic design, and you can be selling both in sports and home decor and cell phone cases and also occasions, or you can be very specific and have something targeted. And like some of our clients, they love martial arts, so they targeted the martial arts area, and
Mhm.
others targeted sewing, and others are targeted quilting, and others targeted fly fishing. And as long as you know that this is the customer that you want to attract, then you deliver on that, then that's what's really important, right?
Mhm.
And also then at that point you can really understand what do they need, right? You're not going to well, maybe you could if you had someone who was fly fishing, like an aficionado, and then all of a sudden they wanted like you made a baby shower invitation for that. It's like the little fish are coming, and and maybe that person does have a baby on the way. So I guess yes, you can make it work that way. But is it truly a broad niche or niche that can be exposed to many people to sell lots to get your income goal? Probably not. Right? And so make that decision, think about that, research that to really help you so that when you're creating those products, you're creating them with a lot of different aspects in mind: the marketing, the reach, the potential for consistent sales year after year. So all of that goes into the intentionality of the product, in addition to this is a cool design for someone who's going to have a baby who loves fly fishing,
Right.
right? Yeah. Okay. What's next on your
And
list?
then the next one that is all about creating intentional products too is understanding that you have to have some design skills. And you don't need to be a graphic designer or a professional artist or photographer or anything like that to start selling on Zazzle, but you do need to know how to make the products and understand what sort of design themes and styles go along with your niche or niche, right? Because, for example, if, like Elke mentioned, fly fishing, whatever random example, right? And
Well,
all
we
of a
always just
sudden,
say weddings, so I thought I'd throw
what?
some
Yeah, I know
first.
we always say
I did
weddings.
have a client that was fly fishing, and she did really well with our 5 strategies, by the way.
Yes, he was all about hunting and fly fishing. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, for example, just your design skills. So, what does that person who is this perfect customer of yours want and need? And are your design skills like, are you able to provide for that? So, whether that be learning how to do your own graphics, maybe you already do your own graphics or your own photography or artwork, and or you can purchase graphics and then play around with also just using the fonts and also shapes on the design tool, right? And so just understanding that there is a basic level of design skills necessary because you are creating products that have a design on them, and knowing what designs and themes and patterns and color schemes and all of those things that go along with your niche or niche, right? Because yeah, like Elka mentioned, fly fishing. If all of a sudden we were doing like a hot pink, I don't know, whatever, sparkly X, Y, or Z, that had a completely different sort of look and feel than the average person who maybe does fly fishing or hunting or some sort of like, more of like the rustic sports,
Of course, yeah.
the outdoor sports, then you're not in the right area, right? And so your design skills have to be on par with who you're providing your products to. And then that kind of ties into the design tool knowledge. And the design tool is really robust and very user friendly on the Zazzle platform. It's pretty much like using a Photoshop program or Canva, if you've been using those, where you can drag and drop and you can move things around. You can add text and fonts. Zazzle has, the licenses for, I want to say, almost like over 1,000 fonts. I don't know how many in general, but there's so many for you to choose from. And you can use the shapes on there. So they've got, line, square, circle, rectangle, triangle. And they also offer actually a cool opportunity for you to add a QR code, which might be interesting for some product choices that you have on the platform. And so you can really create a whole bunch of cool designs already without having a lot of graphics that you either have purchased previously or that you are going to purchase. And then you just understand how to use the design tool. So there's templates involved. There's different opportunities to size things differently, letter and line spacing. Then you've got the option to create patterns. You can create masks. You can group design elements together. So there is a basic set of skill sets that you need to sort of navigate the design tool, although it's very user friendly. And we go a lot more in depth in that in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, allowing you to understand all of the different cool aspects that are there. There's even like filters. You can flip images. You can remove the background if it's a white background and make it transparent. So it's really neat. Okay. But yes, you do need to have a set, like a basic level of the design tool knowledge for you to be able to post your products for sale professionally and effectively, because for example, Zazzle is very much all about customization. That's one of the things that is very different from other print-on-demand platforms. And in order for your product to be customizable, you have to create templates. And templates are easy to create, but sometimes they're a bit, you can make little tiny mistakes here and there. And so understanding how to really create your product effectively so that when a customer comes to the finished product that's posted for sale, they can easily customize it without a lot of obstacles and frustrations. Because if they are running up with, a whole bunch of different things that, your text bounding boxes aren't proper, and then all of a sudden when they put in their own information or switch their photo out for their own and the customization looks all wonky, then they're going to shy away from buying your product.
Yes, and we're all about getting people to buy their products. And
Yeah.
just even before you hit onto the SEO, don't forget too, you have to even understand design knowledge from copyright, right? You can't copy other people's designs on the platform. Can't copy anybody else's stuff, no matter where it is. It's not yours to copy. Just because it's out there doesn't mean you can copy it. And so you really have to understand that too. And that's one of the reasons why Jen and I have succeeded for so long, is because we created original designs, and then if someone tries to copy, we actually legally get them to take it down, right? And
Mhm.
that is part of the whole process, is that you create something that's so unique and interesting that it creates its own demand, which
Mhm.
is really important in getting that successful product to sell, right? So
Mhm.
if all those things that you see where someone's showing like this on Everbee shows that it made this much money, so let's just go to Canva and make something similar to it. And it's like, come on. That's copy, right? And it's not going to serve you, right? Because you're not the one that made that up and you don't understand why that worked in the first place. So the intentionality of the product just got lost, right? It's
Mhm.
just a copy
Yeah.
and it's not going to serve you, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Anyway, SEO next.
Next one is, even if you created the most beautiful product and did your templates all perfect and everything that we just talked about, your product will not be found unless you have proper titles and tags, which is SEO. So search engine optimization. Your titles and tags are very important because when you're creating a product on Zazzle, you're literally creating a web page. And in order for that web page to be searched, you need to have the SEO associated with it. And so your title and your tags are what helps index it on not only the Zazzle marketplace, but also on Google. And if you're doing any promotion like on Pinterest, etc., that also ties through, because you can find your Zazzle products on Google and have them also be found, efficiently and effectively within the marketplace. But if you're either too specific and have a really, really random title, and this is actually a lot more common with artists and photographers, where they're literally creating a name for their photograph or their artwork that is, describing the feeling or the emotion, right? Like serenity and serene, and I don't know, all of these other names that we've come across with some of our artists who are literally just trying to create a really cool name for their product, that is over the top and they're never going to be searched for, right? And or if you're too generic and specific, like not specific enough. So for
Painting.
example, yeah, painting or blue mug.
Abstract.
Yeah, blue mug, right? And we've seen a variety of all the different titles and tags where it's either too specific or too generic, and then you're not really hitting that sweet spot. So like
Or
what we
it's
like,
completely spammed.
yeah, or completely scammed, which, you're trying to like cater to everyone under the sun, where you're like, okay, well, this gift could be for somebody for Mother's Day, Father's Day, a birthday, graduation, Christmas present, baptism, like all of that. And so you don't want to be over the top spamming, trying to say, well, can serve everyone. And I'm trying to be clever, because that also doesn't work for you, right?
Yeah.
And so Elke and I, we always like to tell our clients is, imagine you're on the phone with somebody and you're trying to describe this thing to somebody and they don't see it physically in front of them. So talk about the color, the purpose of it, the pattern type, the feel, like the design style, whether it's minimalistic, rustic, vintage, etc. And try and be understanding that on the other end of things, when people are searching for your product, you have to use also common words that are easily spellable, and also words that would be searched within that niche, and also the trends that are in that niche, right?
Yeah.
Um, for example, like
But
in the
you know what? As much as we I'm just telling you, like thinking here, Jen's giving you really great advice, and yet it still doesn't sink in with a lot of people. That's why in our Profit by Design Academy, we do this twice a month on
Mhm,
our coaching call. We literally help people label their products properly after we critique their designs, because we also want them to really sell once they get their listings seen.
mhm,
But yes, a lot of people struggle with this, and so it's okay. It's all
yeah,
right. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of insight, hindsight, and so we have that, and we give people that, and they learn bit by bit. But it takes, like, they love that part of our Profit by Design Academy, is this feedback, so that they can get their listings seen, because you've worked hard for that, right? And you want them
mhm,
to get a chance to be sold. So
yeah,
thanks for bringing all that information up. But like I said, it's not going to happen just because you just listen to what Jen said.
yeah,
It's very specific for each niche or niche. It's incredibly difficult, and there is no like quick AI tool to help you. In fact, AI is just pulling from the internet, and it pulls in something that's not history and insider information. It's just pulling in a certain average of, where else was this word used. And a lot of people are actually getting misinformation because the SEO is from other people that are spamming. So it's people aren't thinking anymore. You can't just take the computer stuff and not think it through, right?
mhm,
So be careful
yeah,
with that. That's why everyone loves that part of our Profit by Design Academy so much, because we bring that information to the table,
yeah.
and their stuff starts to sell because they start to get views. Yeah.
Yes, that's very true. The next one here is product mockups, which we won't dive too deep into. It's just that this is also part of the creation phase, right? Where you have to learn now how to create not only the product, use the design tool, but now you have to market it using a mockup. and be competitive within the marketplace. This was introduced in the last couple of years on Zazzle, because Zazzle already has generated mockups for you, and you can see the changes in real time when someone changes the templates that you've posted for sale. However, it's become now more of a common practice along other, print on demand platforms to distinguish your product from the other products on the marketplaces to create this mock-up. And so this is a little bit of a learning curve for some people, because you have to figure out how to create a really nice mock-up, and mock-ups can make or break your sale, even if you have the most amazing product. If you're
And you
marketing,
put the titles and tags on properly. Yeah.
yeah, because we've seen some people create really amazing mock-ups, and then that gets a lot of traction. And then if you create a distracting mock-up, or a mock-up that doesn't present the product that, in sort of the real life form that it would be, because a mock-up is just trying to show the person who's the customer what this product looks like in real life, because it doesn't exist right now, right? It's a print on demand product, right? And so we've seen some really great mock-ups, and we've seen some pretty bad ones. And knowing that the not so great ones will, defer people from buying. And also, even like the sizing and the proportions and things like that, if you have a mock-up and you have more information or more graphic in the background, and then your product is this big in the middle of the screen, it's not going to be seen in the thumbnail, and it's just going to be scrolled by.
And that's another reason why people love our critiques that we do on a monthly basis. Actually, again, those are done twice a month. Is we really do a good job of helping people with the mock-ups, because we understand the marketing, right? Just like what Jen said with even the visual. You want to be seen, your products to be seen in the sea of sameness, right? And they should stand out. And a lot of people go overboard with that. They don't do the job they need to do in order to make it interesting and professional. Instead, it's like over the top. Look at me, and actually, it's really a balance. And so that is again a really cool feature that people love in our Profit by Design Academy, is that feedback. Okay, is that the end of this? This is a really big important one, because it's creating your assets, right? So you've got it. Like, thank you for staying with us this long, but really truly, this is the meat and potatoes of your business. If you don't have products selling, you don't have a business, right? So let's keep going with this.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm
then the
sure you
last
love
point,
this. Put it in the comments. Like, we haven't had a lot of comments. We need comments. We need to know if we're doing a good job in helping you. Okay.
And the last point that we're going to be talking about, that's part of the creation of your products, is the organization of it, right? And that means setting up your categories properly, so that that's organization in the back end of your store, and also be seen on your homepage. When you create a thumbnail for your category, then it's shown on your homepage of your storefront, and then also on the like on your category pages. And then the second part is for collections, and collections are groupings of products that you decide to put together so that you can market your products and hopefully cross sell, or give people an opportunity to browse other products that are in your store. So think of it like a Pinterest board, where you're creating kind of like either the same theme of the product, the same design of the product, but different product types, and or different styles or designs, but the same product type. And this is also, or use, yeah. And this is also where our Profit by Design Academy coaching program comes in, because each store setup is completely different. Each collection is completely different, right? Depending on the designer and the purpose of their products, the niche, etc. And so figuring out your categories and collections is very important, because it's your store organization. And then the second part is collections, which allows you to potentially sell more by promoting your products within these groupings.
Yeah, you've done the collections right, and your product suite right, if you have like 5 to 6 products that at least sell with every customer of the one like design or grouping. And it's satisfying. In some of our top clients, they actually have like 18. If you ever see frequently bought together, they have like 18 or even more products that are all sold together, and it's like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's lovely. Okay, but can we just like put something in there about the collections and categories? I know if you're watching this after, sorry, but we are actually holding a live session for categories and collections on March 18th. We're going to put the link in the description below. Please join us if you watch this beforehand. It's free. It's for beginners so that you can really understand what we just talked about with the collections. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And categories, sorry.
Yes. And if you are a complete newcomer to the Zazzle platform and you need some help with your store setup and also posting your first products for sale and learning about promotion, there's a really great 3-part mini series that's completely free. The link is in the description below as well. You'll get sent an email to your inbox on for 3 days with a link to a video, and it's set up tutorial style, showing you step by step on how to do those things. And then also, if you already have your store set up, or you're looking for help with finding a niche and figuring out what trending products and also styles and keywords or
Products
tags
and keywords, yeah.
for those, we have a great download for you that is updated since 2025 for figuring out all of those things about niche, because it's very important. And we've been talking about it now, not only in our strategy number 1 video, which if you haven't seen yet, go back and go and see the part 1 of the part 5 series. And we've also talked about it here in this one here, strategy number 2. Thank you so much for watching.
Those are awesome downloads. Make sure you do that. So now you have 3 things you've got to do. Link in the description. Please go and see and do all those things. It'll help you. Okay.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.